The greatest live adaptation of an anime has just dropped its season 2 on Netflix. Hello motherfuckers, welcome back to my motherfucking channel. Today we will be getting into my overall review and rating of One Piece live action season 2 on Netflix. I filmed these videos in 3 parts. First one was episodes 1 through 3, second 4 through 6, and the final part was 7 through 8. This is a video combining all 3 together just so it's easier. And if you're watching this video, you're on my compilation channel. I have a main channel. Go check me out. It's Prince Shanghai. And right now over there we are currently ranking the Warlords of the Sea in One Piece. So go check that out. But enjoy this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. We start off with episode 1, the beginning and the end. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 6 minutes peak. I love the longness. I could go for longer, not gonna lie. And we start off in the ship, which as a One Piece fan, I am desperate for this. You know, it happens a lot in the early story in the East Blue and stuff like that, but it doesn't really happen much. We usually get done with an island, get on the ship for a little bit, and then immediately get into another conflict, you know? It doesn't happen a lot in the manga and the anime these days, so I very much appreciate that. And I'm excited to see more of it because I am obsessed with the One Piece live actions cast dynamic. Like how they just go back and forth and it feels so natural. I love it. For example, Usopp says something to Sanji about his blue ocean eyes. And like Sanji's reaction to that is it's 10 out of 10. Like I felt like we were watching an episode of like Friends or something, you know? Like it was a good interaction. What can I say? It just gives me that sweet spot of early One Piece that we just don't get nowadays, okay? We're in a different era with the anime and manga. And they end up going to Log Town, and on Log Town they end up exploring the Log Town. And once again, I'm gonna stop here. I love this. They really explore the universe a lot. And what I mean by that is like just seeing all the oddities, okay? All the little tchotchkes and like the people's fashion here on Log Town. It's so detailed and so just stand out-ish. Like, love looking at the main cast, of course, but I'm always looking around to see what else I can see in the who I can see how cool something looks in the live action, and it's just a great feeling. It's like when Usopp goes to that snail phone and I'm just like, it just feels like the world. I don't know how to explain it. It feels very solid and like complete. I love it. And Zoro ends up getting Sandai Getetsu and Yubashiri. I loved this scene in the anime, manga, whatever, but I also love it in the live action. The atmosphere here feels just so, oh my gosh. For some reason I want to live in this sword shop. It's like weird, it's weird. We then go off to where Luffy is, and Luffy ends up finding Bartolomeo and Buggy. Okay, now we need to pause here, because I see a lot of people talking, why is Bartolomeo in Log Town? And in fact, it is canon, but it just didn't happen in this way. Barto's seen the events of Log Town when Luffy and the crew were here canonically, but he just didn't really show face, okay? So, but I'm not mad at that at all. I like the way it's like taking different directions. It works, you know? But I want to talk about Bartolomeo's casting. Not bad casting whatsoever. Do not get me wrong. I think the guy is great, but okay, and this is just like a really personal thing, I guess. Bartolomeo is my One Piece hear me out. Like that, he's like my one. And in the live action, I'm just not, I see it 100%. Like he looks very similar to the character, but I don't know. I guess Bartolomeo is supposed to be like chopped in the anime or whatever, but it's just whatever. whatever.
I just want to make this clear. It's not the actor himself. The actor is fine as shit, okay? Let's be real.
And of course, I love Buggy's actor. It takes on that character so good. And Alvida as well. They are such good actors and actresses. It's nasty. It's nasty work. Everything looks fantastic. Every set looks fantastic. Buggy playing as Luffy's lawyer, though, oh my, I lost it. When like they cut to him in that wig, I was just like, what the fuck? It encapsulates the great goofiness that very early One Piece was. I love it. And as I was watching this, I literally wrote down, I'm enjoying it so much because I couldn't stop smiling. Maybe that's just like, you're gay. Whatever. Like, whatever. Leave me alone, dude. Luffy and Buggy end up on the execution platform. This was such a great moment in the original source material, and now on live action, love to see it. And Luffy ends up getting saved by Dragon, as we all know, and they end up in a scuffle with Smoker. And this fight scene stood out to me so much. The way that it just looks, okay? The the effects that they have with Smoker are done so good. It's not too much, okay? But it's just enough. This is one of the things that I think this adaptation stands out at, is doing the out-of-pocket weird things. It's perfect. I'm just personally obsessed with the way Smoker looks. I mean, the way his devil fruit looks. Okay. It's just very cinematically pleasing and very good on the eyes. Okay? But once again is saved by Dragon. This whole section here with Luffy versus Smoker and then Dragon coming back to save him again. It just does something to me. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But it's amazing. But at this point, let's get real here. There's no debate. Dragon has some kind of weather/wind devil fruit, and it's interesting, okay? When I drop my elbaf theories, I want you to go watch it because I'm talking about this in there, so we'll get more into it. Dragon takes out Smoker, easy diff, let's be real, and we actually end up seeing Sabo, and I wasn't really expecting it. I was like, okay, a little nod, and the character kind of, like, from afar, I was sitting way back, but from afar it looked not AI, but like just it looked jumbled. But now that I see up closer shots, it looks fine. But I think this is just like a filler character for now. I don't think that's actually going to be the Sabo when we get to that point. And they end up escaping Logtown, sailing towards Reverse Mountain, and that is the end of episode 1. Listen, I am a glazer for the One Piece live action. For this, I really try to take it back and just be like, oh, okay, let's look at everything, okay? Because I don't want to be that person that just 10, 10, 10, 10, 10s. But this first episode was so good. It brought me back into this world of One Piece in the live action. So great and so strong. I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. We'll end up giving a whole rating for this season at the end of the series, so just keep walking. And we go off into episode 2, Good Whale Hunting, with a runtime of 1 hour and 3 minutes. Like I said, love that. Personally want more of that. But also the name of this episode is a very obvious play on Good Whale Hunting. I just like that. We start with them actually making their way up the mountain, which I think was very interesting, and it was done very well. I was low-key on the edge of my seat. It was just like the anime to me. It was very epic. Compared to what I thought would have been better, them going down Reverse Mountain, I just wanted more from this scene. I don't know what it was, but there was definitely something missing. I wanted that heart racing feeling. I didn't really get it. at all, honestly, but it was still done great. It looked great. And this is where Laboon actually swallows Nami, Sanji, Usopp, and Zoro. And inside Laboon, they meet Vivi and Mr. 9. Now I want to talk about these two castings right here real quick. Vivi, great. I don't care what nobody says. Vivi was casted very well. I enjoyed this actress in Bridgerton. But when it comes to Vivi, I was never a fan of Vivi. That's crazy. I'm sorry, but it's just real for me. So to bring this character to life is a lot for me. This is a personal feeling. But I think she did it. It's a good job. She did a good job. Now for Mr. 9, I think he looks fantastic. In the anime and manga, he's just not really a throwaway character, but we just forget about him for a little bit. But I think he looks great and everything like that. He didn't overstay his welcome. I have no complaints, honestly. And now for Laboon, I wanted Laboon to be bigger. I think that's just my only issue so far, is I wanted more. I needed Laboon to be way bigger. But I'm gonna keep saying it. It still looks good. Everything still looks good.
Okay, I forgot to talk about it in the video, but when they're in the whale and Usopp and Sanji go and look for whatever they need to like get the Mary back in order, Usopp's scream when Mr. 9 moves because he thinks it's a dead body is so fucking funny. That's what I'm talking about when I say the characters are just, it just feels natural. Like, hey. It was so good. And also Zoro and Nami were talking about hitting the whale's uvula, and Zoro says, so it's a girl whale. And that's what I'm saying. That shit is just, it's comedic poetry. Like, that's all I can like say about it. It's so good. It's so good.
And then we go into a flashback, Laboon's backstory, and we actually see Brook. People once again wondering, why is Brook in the live action? Why is Brook black? First of all, we call him the Soul King, okay? Yes, white people can have soul 100%, but Brook is black. Black afro, big giant blackety black afro. Like, he's black. Let's be real. And I think they did an amazing job for Brook's character. I have no complaints about it. The only one I do have is I wish Brook was taller. That's it. Like, make him tall. That man was like 10 feet tall. I want to see more of that. Like I said, I just need more of these things. Now for Captain Calico, oh my god. This is not a real person. I feel like he is so eerily spot on to the original character, and it's so weird how great he fits that. And he's a very handsome man. Even in the anime manga, he's a very attractive character, and they pulled this off so good. And while most of the crew is stuck inside Laboon, Luffy meets Crocus outside of Laboon, and this, I think I'm gonna keep saying it. Sorry, you just gotta keep walking with me. But Crocus is a perfect cat. The casting for Crocus was great. I think he embodies Crocus so well. The only issue I have is I wanted more like jokes, because the interaction with Crocus when he was like low-key rage baiting the crew, so funny, so stand out in the original source material. I wish they would have did it in the live action, just a little bit more comedy here, but there was comedy, I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted more, okay? But it was, like I said, it was just still a very warming moment. Love to see it cross over. It feels good. Luffy ends up singing Binks's Brew to Laboon to end up bringing his crew, and he actually does the Nika dance while singing this, and it's so wild just seeing all these moments and like characters pulled from way farther into the story. And that's what's so good about this live action. You have 30 years of source material to go back to and kind of rewrite it with different timelines and stuff. It's great. I think it's great. Then Luffy goes on to paint his Jolly Roger on Laboon so he'll stop ramming his head into the red line. Still a very touchy moment. Loved it so much. Personally. The only thing I was missing was I just wanted more of a lot more. Okay, does that make sense? Because the very funny early moments that One Piece is all about are still here, but I needed more of that. And the reverse mountain going down it needed more of it, in which Laboon was bigger, Brook was taller. So there's moments, okay? Still a very strong second episode. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. And now we're moving on to episode 3, Whiskey Business, with a runtime of 1 hour and 3 minutes. First of all, title's funny. I love a good title. I really do. It sticks with you. I like it. And now that the crew has the log pose, they are just sailing, drifting along with Vivi and Mr. Nine, and they end up escaping to Whiskey Peak, and that's also where the crew is headed. And now let's start with Zoro, okay? Zoro was having, like, I thought he was tweaking, okay? He, like, kept seeing Mihawk, and I think I actually enjoyed how this thing played out here. He was trying to push himself to go farther, to go harder, so he can end up defeating Mihawk eventually. It was just his inner saboteur, inner voice, okay, really pushing him along the way. It was a fun take on a Zoro plotline, and I enjoyed it throughout the whole episode. I'm counting from literally 1 to 99 or 100, I'm pretty sure. And we get like a weird moment with Sanji and Usopp. They're going on a 2-man. It's weird, but it's funny. And it's more PG than what you would think of One Piece, but One Piece still has its PG moments, you know? So it's funny. I actually kind of enjoyed it as things played out here on Whiskey Peak. It was really the comedic relief that everything needs, you know? And I think it just played out so well when Zoro went up there to basically not save them, but he saved them. And we end up meeting more Baroque Works agents. We meet Miss Valentine and Mr. Five. And I am not gonna lie, Mr. Five's casting, perfect. Knocked it out of the water. Also with Miss Valentine, they really took their time looking for the people that actually not only look like them, but can really embody what the character is giving throughout this whole second season. I'm not gonna lie. The characters leave you wanting more, okay? But we also meet Egram here, and once again, the man is black, first of all, let's be real. He is just of color, okay? He is of color. Nobody's gonna convince me otherwise. I mean, look at him. He's brown, a brown man. So the complaints about the casting, they just go right past me because I don't get it. The reveal of Vivi actually being a princess was also great, because if you're watching this and have no idea what's happening next, like you don't know about the One Piece anime, whatever, this is your first watch through, you want to see more. This is giving you, building you a world, and it's great. I think it was done great, because when I first watched it, that was my thing. Like it kept taking me places where really wasn't expecting, and it just kept me on the edge of my seat. That's why I love One Piece, and I think it crossed over to the live action very good. But Egram ends up dying, but he's not dead. It's just like wild that he survived that, I'm not gonna lie. And overall, Whiskey Peak felt like a movie to me, from Zoro's plotline to the Sanji little comedy, the breaking of Vivi's news. It was such a good episode. It really drew me in. I loved the atmosphere of Whiskey Peak as well. It felt so calming to me. Even though Zoro was killing 100 men as the episode goes, it I don't know. I like it. It was a moment for sure, and I'm gonna give this episode a 9.3 out of 10. Strong. It was strong for me. And that would be the end of episode 3. I'm so far, I'm enjoying this experience so much. So much. Obviously, I have a lot to say about it.
Episode 4, Big Trouble in Little Garden, with a runtime of 54 minutes.
The crew is sailing away from Whiskey Peak and into the unknown. Well, Little Garden, where we actually get to meet Miss All Sunday. She's on the boat somehow, some way. She's on the ship, and oh my god, great casting. She looks fantastic. I have zero complaints. The accent, it feels so good. It feels like what Robin would be in real life. It just does, you know? I need to see more from Robin, 100%. And when they arrive on Little Garden, this is where the crew splits up a bit. And this is where we get some of my favorite dynamics in One Piece. Overall, the live action, the anime, the manga, Zoro and Sanji. They split off just a duo. And they riffed off of each other so well. It feels natural. You know, the Zoro and Sanji banter that we all look forward to, that we get it still nowadays, but I feel like it used to be a lot back in the early days, and it feels good. It feels good. And honestly, I thought that it wouldn't cross over that well, but oh my god, these two are so talented. It works. Meanwhile, Luffy and Vivi are actually exploring Little Garden, and we see the dinosaurs and stuff. Zoro and Sanji also kill a dinosaur, and they look good. They just look a little fake, and it's okay, because it still looks and it feels good. It didn't really take me out of that setting. And we meet the infamous Dory and Bragi. Nami and Usopp are actually captured by Bragi, and Vivi and Luffy actually just run into Bragi. And now with these two's castings, I was very worried how this would come off. It's kind of hard to do giants, and even in my opinion, in animes and animations and stuff like that, it's hard to do big things, and I think they did it really good. It still, to me, just looks a little weird, but it comes off great, okay? The characters really carry that for me, okay? They both fit the bill very well, and it just made me happy. I just love giants. I cannot wait till we get to elbaf in the anime, of course. And Dory and Bragi end up battling. I enjoyed this fight. I loved it, actually. So much so, I wished it would have lasted a little longer. That's my only complaint here, is I wanted it to be last a little longer, but it still feels solid. But I was still satisfied with it, okay? Nonetheless. Meanwhile, we meet Mr. 3, bro. I'm just gonna keep saying it. The casting process for the One Piece live action is so insane. Like, what? Not only did they pick a great cast, but the makeups and stuff on these people just look so great. It looks so great, and it feels so natural. That's the only way I can explain it. It feels naturally great. And we also meet Miss Golden Week. Now, with this one, there's nothing bad to say, but there's also nothing great to say. My only complaint with her is, I wish she was just a bit younger. Nothing against the actress herself. I just wish she was a bit younger. Nami, Zoro, and Luffy end up getting painted by Miss Golden Week separately. Vivi and Zoro and Nami are all captured as well by Mr. 3. And we all know Miss Golden Week's power, painting power, changes the emotion of whoever she paints. So their emotions are changed. It's all over the place right now. Leaving the episode off on a cliffhanger, which I'm not mad at. I like that we have things to look forward to in the next episodes and stuff like that. I'm gonna give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. It was great, okay? It was great, but I wanted a little more. So then we move to episode 5, Wax On, Wax Off, and the runtime is 57 minutes. Now let's start off with Sanji in this episode. He discovers Mr. Three's wax house in the forest and actually ends up talking on the phone, well, on the transponders now, to Crocodile, and we end up seeing Crocodile. Aura. I love the casting for Crocodile as well. It's not much. We haven't seen much yet, but the aura, it's there. It's spilling. And Sanji, or should we say Mr. Prince, and actually gets an ass whooping from Mr. 13. Okay, it's like this otter character animal. I really don't know what it is, but he beats the shit out of Sanji. But Sanji ends up winning. It was a difficult diff. Okay, a hard diff. But it was still engaging, and like I've been saying, it encapsulates early One Piece. Just the goofiness. Why are you fighting an otter, and the otter is actually beating your ass? It makes sense. Nami, Zoro, and Vivi are all in the wax contraption. It looks great. I have no complaints about that. I don't want it to be bigger, smaller, whatever, because that's my thing. I like things to be bigger. I think this wax contraption looks great. The scene between Miss Golden Week and Luffy is so stand out to me because I started to see why they chose her more as the casting for Miss Golden Week. She is a great actress, but Luffy here stood out. I know people have issues with how he delivers Luffy, but in this scene in particular, it's amazing. Like, and it's nothing like too serious, but like he really gives it, and I'm just like, that's my Luffy. Usopp does his big one, saving not only Luffy but Zoro, Nami, and Vivi, and the fights begin. Now let's start with Luffy versus Mr. 3, and I thought this fight was good. Reminded me of the anime a lot. It's not my favorite fight overall, but it had me hooked. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't feel forced. It was great. It was great. Now, Nami and Vivi versus Mrs. Valentine was also good. Nothing crazy here. Nothing stand out. It is good to see these two work together. Once again, it flows naturally.
And as the crew is preparing to set off, the giants tell them to sail forward no matter what comes in their way. And this is where we get the iconic scene of the Hakogen sovereignty between Dory and Bragi. And this moment in the anime, in the manga, whenever they do this, I've said it before, whenever they hit this move, or any of the giants hit it, because we just recently got more giants doing some sort of the same thing when Kaidou and Big Mom had their moment with it. It's just so entertaining. Like, I don't know, it's one of my favorite moves in all of One Piece. I was very excited about it, but I do unfortunately have a critique about it. I wanted it to be more. Like, I needed a little more for that, maybe a little more setup time or something, because the payoff just didn't feel that great. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, because like I said, I still enjoyed it, but it could have used a little more. So it ends with the crew finally heading for Alabasta. They have some great banter on the ship. I always look forward to it, and it, like I keep saying, it feels natural and just fun. It feels fun. That is until Nami falls ill, literally, from getting bit by a bug back on Little Garden. So the episode leaves off on a cliffhanger, which, once again, I like it. Leaves me wanting more. I really loved this episode. Like I said, I just wanted the giants to be more present during this episode, but it's fine. Like, it still feels very solid for what it is. Especially, it just feels really good because it hits all the notes that need to be hit, and solid. It's a very solid episode, and I'm gonna give it a 9.3 out of 10. I enjoyed the giants. I enjoyed Mr. 3 and Luffy, and just everything. The aesthetic of Little Garden always puts a smile on my face.
Then we move on to episode 6, Nami Dearest, with a runtime of 55 minutes. With Nami getting sick, the crew finds themselves on Drum Island, the gorgeous Drum Island. Okay, first of all, I want to point this out. In the anime and the manga, Drum Island is very, like, aesthetically pleasing, and it crossed over so well to the live action, in my opinion. Once again, like I said with Whiskey Peak, it just felt cozy, even though these people are like going through it, of course. But we get a flashback to an old reverie that happened years ago, and we see some familiar faces. We see
Cobra
for the first time, and I think he looks great in the manga. Nobody can say anything about the casting. I don't care. It looks good to me. And we also see what looks like to be the king of Louisia, and that's interesting. Like I said, they're taking moments and characters that happen way far down the line and already bringing them in, but it feels safe and it feels solid, you know? Now, in the anime and manga, I actually hate Wapol. Like, the character never did anything for me. Like, I was never moved by Wapol, but, and it's a big one, this man brings Wapol to life in the best way possible. He is hilarious. Hilarious! From his little Wapol-isms to the way that he like wiped his hand on the king that was sitting next to him. It's just comedy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Usually with live action things seem so like forced and like in just plain. This, it just feels like the world is really coming together in a really well-rounded way, and simply by the characters doing things that characters would do, you know. It's interesting. He does go on to smack a young Vivi, and I'm just like, what? I don't remember if that happened in the source material, but it's okay because it's building up this conflict between Wapol, Vivi, and Luffy, you know? And we end up actually seeing Miss All Sunday giving Wapol his devil fruit. And I just want to point out, I love the scenes in the dark rooms, but there's like, you know, the lights in the background and stuff. It's so satisfying. Like, I could live in all these rooms. It reminds me of the sword shop on Logtown. Just, I love it. But back on Drum Island, Blackbeard is actually mentioned a few times. And once again, bringing characters through. It's setting up a story. It's building a world. How can you not like it? And
Dalton
is very much a great casting. He encapsulates the hardships of the Drum Island residents, and it feels great, okay? But on Drum Island, they need a doctor. We all know Drum Island is renowned for its doctors, but Wapol took them all away. There's only one doctor, and it's Dr. Kureha, and she is on top of the mountain inside of the old castle. This is where we get the iconic scene of Luffy carrying Nami on his back and Sanji coming along with him, but up the mountain, Sanji actually gets fucked up and Luffy has to carry him with his teeth. It's such a hard-working moment from Luffy, and in the anime and the manga, this is character development right here. Like, he is taking care of his crew. This is a very captain move of him. He's getting frostbite, he's bleeding. It's hard, it's tough, and it was adapted so well. With some of these scenes like the reverse mountain or Laboon, I was just like, ugh, I could use a little more. But with this, it feels great. It feels stupidly solid, okay? But when they make it up to the top of the mountain, they all end up being saved by
Chopper.
And that's when Nami wakes up and she sees Chopper. And this is my moment. I'm going to talk about Chopper. Not too much, because he's not really much in this episode. It's more in the next episode. But he looks great. I think he's done so well. Anytime he was on the screen, I was just smiling. He's adorable. He's adorable. How can you not like this? I don't I don't get it. I don't get it. But Koreha's intro was fabulous. Fabulously done. She looks great and is taking on the character with ease. I think she is a standout for sure introduction in this story so far, because it was done in like a rock star kind of way, and it fits. It works. That's the thing. It works. It's not perfect, but it works and it feels, I don't know, I like it. And Luffy's reaction to Chopper being shown for the first time is, oh my god, I felt it so much. I feel like Luffy's Inaki is getting better and better and better every time. Like as time goes on, he's just getting better, because this reaction was so real. Okay, that's how I felt when I was watching Chopper run across the screen for the first time. I get it.
Okay, let's talk about this moment real quick, because that's one of the most talked about moments from this live action season 2 is Sanji and Luffy serving body. Okay, let's just talk about it. These two men are very attractive. First of all, let that be known. The amount of work that they had to put in to really give us this, not just this scene, but just to look this good, it's insane, and I applaud them because they look fantastic. I'd like to try that devil fruit, if you know what I mean.
And this actually ends episode 6. And I'm going to give this episode a 9.2 out of 10. Great intros to characters. Great story building for the rest of the story. It feels cinematic. I love it so much. And it's leaving me wanting more. Episode 7, Reindeer Shames, with a runtime of an hour. A solid hour. Now we start off with Chopper's backstory in this episode, and the people of Drum Island look at him as if he is a monster. And now I already talked about it in part 2 of this series, but I'm gonna get more into it in this video because this is where Chopper is really, really present. But he looks amazing. Like the critiques that people have about Chopper, you know, nothing is perfect in this world. Okay, let's just be real. But Chopper looks so good, and I'm on that bandwagon where people think, you know, nowadays CGI and stuff, it just looks terrible, and I agree. But with Chopper, I don't even know if it's CGI, because I was looking at him like, okay, it's not real, but it's just a step under of being real and way far away from being like Uncanny Valley vibes. I just think that he looks great. The voice actor sounds great for Chopper. It works. And that's just one of the main words that I'm using for this review of this live action. Everything just works. And then we are introduced into Dr. Hiraluk, and blown away. He works this character to the bone. He is so good at portraying these emotions that you really need, because this backstory in the source material is so good and heartwarming, and you just feel it, you know? And I think it came off so well because of this actor. Dr. Hiraluk he really chewed this role up. Like, for real. Very much pouring his soul into this character, and very much a standout character for me. Like, not even character, just acting roles here. He is great. He's a great actor. Taking Chopper in, and, you know, basically was really Chopper's first friend, but he was more like a father figure, you know? Teaching him about pirates and wills and death and medicine and dreams. It really came to life. For some reason, this flashback hit me so hard, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to sound like one of those people, but it low-key hit me harder than it did in the anime and the manga. I'm sorry. So first of all, I am a reader. Like, I like reading, but like sometimes the emotions just don't come through for me personally. And in the anime, of course, I was definitely more attached to it and felt for Chopper, but for some reason, seeing these characters brought to life is different. Okay, I was just like, fuck, eyes watering the entire time. But Dr. Hairluck is sick, and Chopper thinks that if he goes out and finds this all-curing mushroom, the magic mushroom, which I just want to say is Chopper's devil fruit, okay? I have a video coming out very soon about the Straw Hat's next buffs and what they need to really complete the story of One Piece. Just to stand strong next to an already broken captain. We'll get into it soon. But the mushroom is poisonous, and Hairluck knows this, but he eats it anyway because he already knows his fate and that he will be dying very soon. Which led him to go up to Wapple's castle and basically sacrifice himself, letting people know his standout words about death and how a man doesn't die until he's forgotten and all this stuff. It's moving. He really moves each scene that he was doing, and oh my god, it gave me more respect for this whole arc. Okay, in the end, Dr. Hairluck has basically achieved what he was trying to achieve for a long time, finishing his serum in order to heal the kingdom of Drum. Now Dr. Kureha takes Chopper in and, you know, teaches him all her knowings of medicine and stuff like that. That's why Chopper is such a great doctor nowadays. And this story moves Luffy so much that he goes and hangs up Dr. Hairluck's flag, his Jolly Roger. And once again, it was really this episode. Like, each scene just like not got deeper and deeper, but it just was a solid, steady, emotional episode. Like, that's all I can explain it. And that ends the episode. And one more time, let me say it one more time. Everything in this episode moved me. Like, I was glued to my screen the whole episode. By far the most emotional episode of the season. Dare I say the series. I was fucking moved. And Dr. Hairluck really, really carries for this episode. But not only that, backstories can sometimes be, you know, boring or uninteresting. This was the 100% complete opposite of just that. I'm being reintroduced into characters and somehow falling more in love with them. It's a job well done. And I'm gonna give this episode an easy 9.8. Outside of the action episodes, of course, this is my favorite episode. It's such a good adaptation of Chopper's backstory, and really it came across natural and authentic. I respect it so much. This was such a good episode. And we move off into episode 8, Dear and Loathing in Drum Kingdom, with a runtime of 1 hour and 3 minutes. This is the finale of the season. Now, I want to start off here with the interior of the Drum Castle. Oh my gosh, I've been talking about it throughout these videos, just how good the sets look. But this one, oh my god, there's just something so like messy about it. The only way I can like explain it is like the Harry Potter movies. Like, inside of each room, it just feels like its own little thing, its own little nook, and it has just all these tchotchkes laying all around the place, and it just feels so like I could be there. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is too clean or precise. I like that. I like it a lot. I don't know why, but I really like that. Now, the lead up to this Wapol fight, I was here for it. I'm on the edge of my seat throughout the whole couple episodes that he was appearing in here and there. And the showcase for his devil fruit powers was goofy, okay? But that is a good thing. That is what One Piece is. It's goofy in the anime, it's goofy in the manga, it's goofy in live action, and I respect it. I respect how they fucking did it. And Sanji and Chopper versus Wapol's underlings, it was fun, okay? It wasn't everything, but it was cool. I do like seeing Chopper fighting, though, I will say that. And speaking of Chopper, this is one of my big critiques of this season episodes. My biggest, I feel like I don't like his heavy point. I don't like the way it looks. It was hard to look at. I know what I just said about One Piece being goofy and that really crosses over really well into the live action. This was just like, oof, like a bad oof. But I was still hyped about the whole situation because these are my Straw Hats. You know, I love the live action cast so much, and there's moments for sure, but most of the moments are great. Now, how the fuck did I forget that Dalton had a devil fruit? I remember it in the anime now after watching it, but like when I seen him transform, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And it just shocked me. It kind of shocked me, and it looked good. That's the thing. Chopper's heavy point didn't look good. This, however, this transformation looked good to me. And Zoro had his, you know, little moments. Nothing crazy, which is shocking to me, because this is the finale. Now, Vivi's moment with Wapol giving her little speech or whatever, it was moving. It's building this character in such a well-rounded way and building that anticipation for when we get to Alabasta. Now, for the actual fight itself, I'm not gonna lie, it left me a bit disappointed. Now, it was satisfying and like, yes, worthy when we seen Wapol get punched through the window of the castle. I liked that, okay? But I wanted more. This is another one of my critiques that I have so far. It's just they could have done more with it, more action from Luffy. I feel like he barely fought throughout the entire season, which isn't a bad thing, but I just want, when he does fight, go all out. You know? Now that Wapol is defeated, Luffy asks Chopper to join his crew. Though reluctant at first, he accepts the offer. And then Chopper goes and tells Dr. Kureha about this, and this moment right here is a standout moment for me. I don't know what it is about baby Chopper, but he gets me every single time. I'm just like, that's my son. That's my son. And they begin to leave Drum Island, and the moon scene where they were crossing over the moon looks so sickening, you know, and it really ties this whole plot together for Chopper growing, you know what I'm saying? He's carrying his friends to the Mary, and I don't know, it's good. And as they are leaving, Dr. Kureha shoots a cannon full of Dr. Hiruluk's serum, healing Drum Island in the process. And once again, this moved me, honestly, personally, because in the anime, that was my favorite part of this whole Drum Island experience. And it moved me even more. I'm gonna say it moved me even more in the live action because I just felt like I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really very much captivating. It was gorgeous. Love to see it. And you get the iconic Chopper crying scene, which I've probably said moving 50 times in this video, but so moving. Like, it makes me love Chopper even more. I don't know. And as the beautiful cherry blossoms are falling, Dr. Kureha talks about the D and Goldie Roger and Wills and stuff. It's moving. They really went in for the emotional side of this finale, and I was hooked. They captivated me. And once again, this builds up the story of One Piece. What do you mean the will of D? What do you mean Gold Roger had a D? You know what I'm saying? When you first seen that or watched that in the anime or the manga, it was like, whoa to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how I would think people would feel if they're watching this for the first time in the live action. I think it came across great. And they end up sailing off to Alabasta, which is just, it's satisfying that we're getting somewhere, you know? With more crew shenanigans, like I said, I really look forward to this with this cast because it doesn't come across as forced or unnatural. It feels just like you're a part of it almost, you know, making Chopper feel safe and welcomed. I loved this so much. Now the episode ends off with the introduction to Crocodile. Oh my god, I was so hyped for this. I don't know, I guess this is just how Marvel fans feel when they like watch an Avengers movie. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, fuck, that's Crocodile. And he was giving Crocodile the aura. The aura was spilling off the page. And you know what's crazy for me? After doing my Warlord series I did the Crocodile video, it made me respect Crocodile even more, and like I looked at him a lot deeper. So I really started to like Crocodile, because before that I was just really not like a not fan, but like I was just like mid-tier with it, you know. But I love Crocodile, and I cannot wait to see what he brings in season 3. And I'm gonna give the finale of One Piece season 2 live action a solid 9. Okay, although there were a few things that I was a bit disappointed by, Luffy versus Wapol and Chopper's heavy points, I still liked it. You know, I was still hooked because there's a story here. Although I know the story, I want to keep going. You know what I'm saying? They still got their point across, and I can't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? It's satisfying. Now, before I get into the overall rating that I feel for this season, I'm going to get into my overall review real quick. Now, although there were absolutely some downs, there were way more ups in this season. Let's start from the character introductions. Robin, Dory, Bragi, Wapol, Vivi, Dr. Hiraluk, Dr. Kureha, Crocodile, Chopper. So many drops this season that you just, if something was like, ooh, like it made you look at it twice, you still were captivated because there's just so many drops. Not to mention the Baroque Works characters as well. Shout out to them. They did amazing jobs. But that's my point right there. Every single character that they introduced this season did such a good acting job. Round of applause for the whole cast. But then you get into the devil fruit effects. Everyone looked good. When Chopper turned into a little deer, not heavy point, it was satisfying. It was good. Wapol looked good. Robin stood out, absolutely. But my favorite was Smoker. I love the way that looked. It was very satisfyingly, aesthetically pleasing. Now the sets, I've been saying it throughout all these videos, that they just felt real. And the word I like to use is cozy. And I don't know why, because I feel like I could take a nap in like all these places. The sword shop on Log Town, the Crocodile's room, you know, where he was, amazing. The interior of the castle, great. It's just, things really stood out. The crossover to the real world for One Piece is working. Everything feels majestic and magical, even, I would say. Really bringing that madness and goofiness and weirdness alive in the best way possible. I wouldn't want it done any other way, personally. Now let's get into the overall rating of this season. If you take the score of each episode that I came up with myself and do a little, you know, math. I don't know much, but I do know a little math. You get a solid score of 9.15. And it makes sense. You know, there's definitely things that are like, ooh, you know, you like miss out on it or whatever. But overall, they hit every major plot point, and it doesn't feel off at all. And it doesn't feel rushed either. You know what I'm saying? It's like from episode 1 of season 1 all the way to episode 8 in season 2. That is 93 episodes and like over 100 chapters of One Piece crammed into 16 episodes, but it doesn't feel crammed. It feels digestible in the best way possible. And I just want to say, it feels really good to be a One Piece fan right now. It really does. I feel like they're really taking care of our series that we just adore and love so much. And my one statement I have for this live action is, I like it. Okay, I want to know what you think of the live action. Now that I've completed it personally, I want to know how you feel about this live action. Like, what's your ups and your down? What's one up And what's one down? My up is the casting. They all do the role so well. My down is Chopper's monster point, not monster point, heavy point. It's hard, and I cannot wait for season 3, really season 4, because season 4 would be Skypiea, and Skypiea is one of my favorite One Piece arcs. So I really can't wait for that. And like I said, go check out my Warlord series. I drop a theory video that coincides with my ranking of the Warlords, so go check those out. Go watch One Piece, the live action on Netflix. It's out right now, all 8 episodes. And yeah, it was peak for me, peak. I loved it. But I guess that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe. Bye, motherfuckers.